All right, aloha friends. Game time with the Goss, powered by Great Wolf Promotions. I'm your host, Brian Goss with GM Sports Media. And today my guest is my very good friend, Christine Phillips, TAV Social Media Director. Christine, thanks for coming on the show.
So excited to be on.
Awesome. I know a lot of people know who you are and what you do, but for those that may not know, just kind of take me through your volleyball journey and how you got to this point.
Okay, you got 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just kidding. So, I grew up in the sport. I'm from Long Beach, California. I grew up playing soccer, playing club soccer, playing club volleyball. Ended up choosing to go to a junior college, Long Beach City College, and playing there 2 years. Was blessed to have the opportunity and played a bunch of D1s after that. So then I headed to Texas, South Texas, a university called University of Texas Pan American, which is now actually UTRGV, and stayed down there and then kind of jumped into coaching. And I always I loved the back end. I did a social media internship at in college. So I actually loved the backside producing, writing, giving credit, things like that. A lot of what you do. And but coaching just called my name. So I coached at a D1 as an assistant down there. And then I got the opportunity to be the head coach at my alma mater. And then despite life, because life has a funny way of twisting things, I ended up on the other side of the game with at the AVP. And then to make a long story short, there, been blessed to work with plenty of gold medalists. Ran a foundation for Eric Fanoe Moana, Dig for Kids, and then worked with Misty, who was my teammate from club days. And we did a bunch of stuff, and that's what led me back to Texas. Um, and ever since 2011, I've been TAV social media director. I started TAV Beach, which is currently on hold, but you never know, it might make it a resurgence. And I actually worked for V-Ball Recruiter for a couple years. So I got to travel a lot and not just watch my own athletes, but the whole country. And really got to know, I was blessed in that area to get to know a lot of people in the next gen. And now I'm back at the airport working and I'm TV social media and just covering the sport on my own and trying to help kids grow their social media presence. So, because that is the next wave. It's so big right now, but that's it.
Yeah, awesome. And you do a great job. I always love your work. Um, you know, you, I do more of the high school scene and you're more on the club scene. I've been to a few club tournaments and every time the arenas are packed and it's going crazy and there's so many good teams, so many talent. Can you give me an idea of what makes club volleyball so special and unique?
Wow. The level of competition probably be my and the coaching. I think they go hand in hand. I'm not saying high school coaches aren't qualified. What I'm saying is club is where they're getting better, they're spending most of their time, they're getting recruited. Um, I think that is what makes it unique. And then you're with a team from all over the metro, or you're with people outside of high school or your school in general. And that's a special bond. Like I said, I played with Misty. We weren't even in the same city. Like she was in Orange County, I was in Long Beach. So you get the opportunity. I mean, I can talk about right now TAV and Skyline and a bunch of teams right now that these kids are not from the same high school, but you put them together and it's a special thing. Um, but that's, like high school is great. I'm all like, I think the pride and you do such a good job. And I'm always watching, your posts, and your awards and things like that. But that's just, it's just a different level.
Yeah, I mean, basically you have an all-star from each high school and DFW on one team.
I
That's what,
would say multiple
yeah,
because,
multiple, yeah.
the metro is so, and Houston has done a very good job to try and catch back up to like the DFW. They have a great crew down there right now. But it's amazing how deep. and how other parts of the country right now are trying to catch up in a sense, not catch up, but try and really compete because we have two top level teams at every age level at TAB, Skyline, you know, so it's fun. It's next level.
I mean, would you say DFW is tops in the country or top five in the country?
Growing up in California, I would, we knew you knew your metro, you knew your heart of the game. It was California, and then you had your island, Puerto Rico and Hawaii were always someone like there was very much it was you knew. Now, California's still up there. Don't misread me. Illinois, Florida, DFW in general leads the way, and then you add in Houston and Austin, San Antonio, and it's Texas is a whole nother level right now. So, yeah.
We talked before the season, and I love texting you and talking to you because you have so much enthusiasm and you're so excited about some of these upcoming players. Let's just talk about this loaded 2029 freshman class. I remember you giving me a list, probably 10, 15 players around the area, and I appreciate that. I've seen a couple of girls, over in Mansfield, you have MC Crutcher, Colleyville Heritage, Mallory Carr. You know more names, but uh, what's going on? The freshman class is so talented.
Well, I will say this. I give a lot of credit to the beach side of this group. Peyton, Adam, Duncanville.
Yep.
I don't know if she ever played beach, but she's actually also having a phenomenal season. But Sky Lincoln at Wakeland, like I can go down the list of
Uh-huh.
freshmen, Lacey Martin, the younger sister of, Lex, to Collins and Ashley Collins at South Lake Carroll, who's got a great opportunity right now, and Ashley Ruschel at McKinney Boyd to I can keep going down the list. I know that Preston Wood has some freshmen play. Like you just go down the list, and pretty much all of them, I would say 95% play beach, so they know the game and they're scrappy. And the level is 2027 is an impressive class, don't get me wrong. But 2029 is probably the most loaded class I've seen in decades. So they're just good.
Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, it's going to be a fun rest of this year and the next 3 years with them. But you mentioned beach. I've been here since 2014. Of course there was still beach, but it just seems like the presence of beach volleyball is more than ever. Just you see a lot more girls playing beach.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of things that shaped up here. In 2011 when I came, there was 692. And then I got TAV Beach started a couple years later, Beach 10K. Then Madsen came around and, it went year round and we have scholarships in college and there's a lot we can play around here. Especially in North Texas, we've always had a footprint in the national beach scene, believe it or not. But again, it comes down to these kids are playing earlier. These kids are getting out there competing earlier and having fun doing it. And that's the beach draw, right? You don't have coaches yelling at you 24/7. You have to, I mean, that's what we grew up with. That's how we learned is you had to do it yourself. You had to figure it out. You had to, yeah, you have a coach now, but they can't say anything. So, I think that it's going to be interesting in the next few years. It kind of ebbs and flows, honestly. I think that 2029, 2030 has about 10 to 15 kids that right now will make big waves next year too in the high school scene. Um, but there needs to be another resurgence, I think, again, because like I said, 2027 had a ton too, and most of those kids played beach. And then, 2026, we know Kylie, we know a lot of these, Ashley and all these people who are doing well. A lot of them played beach and even for fun, not even like going to play in
Yeah.
college kind of situation, but they were good. Um, so I think we're going to need a resurgence here soon. But, beach is not going anywhere, and the kids love it. So that's a bonus. It's more touches for these kids. So
I sometimes I think about this, but there's of course limited courts and things like that. But I mean, could we see? I don't know how much you've thought about it, just the high school level, at least UIL having beach volleyball.
we've tried. Believe it or not, that was high on the list in 2016, 2016, 2013. We were talking about it because California, Arizona, and Florida already had it. And here we have these phenomenal athletes. It's more opportunities for kids to play who were cut or, didn't make after their freshman year, but they all still play beach. I don't know what it's going to take to for UAL to make that jump. I know TAPS does it already.
Hmm.
We have facilities all over the place now. Game On with Irene Hester, who came back a Metro kid who actually played 692 and then went and played at TCU indoor and then played on the AVP. And she's back running Game On right now. There's locations that we can do it. It's just a matter of the people in Austin making the move. So,
Um, I want to talk about one of your TAV girls, Sophie Peterson, setter at Byron Nelson. If you don't know about Byron Nelson, incredible run here. State champs last year. They're undefeated, 30 and 0, 66 match winning streak. But Sophie's a junior setter. She's committed to Texas A&M. I know you've seen her a lot of times. Just what is it about Sophie that makes her such a talented setter?
her athleticism, her knowledge, another former beach player, and she was good. And anytime that kid wants to step on the sand again, trust me, she will be at the highest level. Um, her IQ, her setting IQ is very high. And like I said, her athleticism doesn't hurt her. It helps her in so many ways. Like I'm just like going through photos because of course, the watch list have just come out. And of course I saw your post today. Um, and I'm here picking photos and you just watch. She has a high contact on the ball. She's not afraid to push pin to pin. Oh, and by the way, she can hit better than most.
Hmm.
It's like Danielle Whitmer, Anna Flores. Some of these setters, yeah, they're great setters, but they're very effective as hitters. And Sophie right now is running the show. I know that. Um, but she's an incredible hitter too. So, I mean, she's aggressive. Has a hitting mind. She's like I said, beach. So she's scrappy. Um, she's a special kid. She really, really is.
Have you seen the setter position evolve over the years? Seems like the setters are getting taller and can hit more.
It's an ebb and flow. Again, there's a 5-1 setter, there's a 6-2 setter, right? Some coaches really like, okay, it's hard for Byron Nelson to pull Sophie out, right? She's too much of a factor, but then you look at Daniel Whitmer, who is going to Penn State and will be on that court right away, in my opinion. But they have another great setter, so they run a 6-2 and let her hit. Anna too. Anna is very effective. They're great setters. I know Prestonwood also has that situation. So there's other schools like that, and um, I think it just depends. 6-2s, I know Eaton's running a 6-2 because, the shorter setters, there's nothing wrong with the shorter setter. It's like a tall libero versus a short libero. It really comes down to preference, what you want, or a short middle and a tall middle. We've got some incredibly undersized in volleyball world
Yeah.
middles right now. And, I would say Brooklyn Bailey is incredible. She's fast and explosive. KC at Byron Nelson, another example of a very effective, but not 6'4". They're not Kinsley Young. I mean, or Nyla Livings, or, I mean, they're very different. You can't, like, it comes down to preference. So I think it's going to keep changing. And one thing I've noticed is the side set is really becoming big right now, or the fake side set, I guess you could say. um, that's the stuff I'm watching. uh, just to see how the USA is shaping these setters to from the international level. Um, and that's fun to watch too because they're athletic. You know, the USA team has a new head coach. He has a new style. Karts was different. So, you know, just like that, everything kind of trickles. So it's just a preference.
Yeah, awesome. Kind of gonna put you on the spot here, but I'll keep it a little. I'll keep it to a smaller sample size. We'll go the last 5 years. Um, and you can name, three, four, or five girls, just some of the top girls you've seen.
Well, luckily I'm blessed at TAV. Um, Charity Looper,
Hmm.
Paige Flickinger. Um, you know, those guys were massive, especially, I mean, both, ironically, Byron is known for their outsides, right?
Yeah.
And their setters, believe it. And so those are two names that I feel like not only were big in that world, but I know Adana was a little bit before then. And of course, I know I'm naming TAV kids. There were other kids too.
All right.
Why am I going blank? Drive Nation,
I mean,
at Texas.
you can stick with TAV.
Um, well, if I'd be stupid not to say Kari Spears and Suli Davis, who are killing it right now. You know, Jillian Pitt's one of the top liberos I've ever been blessed to know, in my opinion. And those three were from last year alone.
Yeah.
So like I said, Skyline, Mad Frog, Drive, like there are some big kids. It's not just I know. I just am very well versed in TAV kids.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it'll be fun to see right now the college. Oh, what am I talking about? Jaden Livings, Favor. Like
Over
there's
at
so
SMU.
many. Yeah, I could keep going. Michaela to all these different people that, like I said, is I've watched these kids grow from 12, some of them, like Sophie Peterson. I've watched since she was, I think, 11.
Yeah.
And just like her sister, who had an injury, and just like Kylie, both of them had to sit out a year. But now look at her now. Both of them look at them now. So, yeah, I'm truly blessed. I'm always watching other kids too, as you can see on my social media. I'm not a one trick pony kind of thing. I'm here to promote the game.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's some big
Okay.
names,
Yeah.
big, big names.
Like I said, you do a great job at it. So uh,
Thanks.
we appreciate the work you do. But yeah, just kind of, I'll let you out on this, but um, just talk about maybe some upcoming projects or what you're working on and where can we find you on social media?
Okay, so you can find me on all things Vball Phil, VBALLPHIL. Fun fact, I came up with that name back in 1996 when I was in college. The, what am I working on? I'm always promoting TAV. I'm trying to get to all the kids that I support and work with. I'm helping a group of kids with branding stuff, and trying to teach them and grow their game, and their top level kids. So I'm trying to get to all those kids right now to see them all play so I can get at least before club, get some more high school stuff. And then obviously TAV stuff because we have an incredible senior class. Um, yeah, I'm not. The nice thing is now that I'm back at the airport, I am a little bit more grounded. Um, and so now I can just focus on TAV and my kids. So yeah, but all things be about Phil.
Awesome. Well, great job. Thank you again for coming on and talking volleyball. I know we can make this a 2, 3 hour show, but I know, we got other stuff to do, but I do appreciate your time as always.
And thank you for doing what you do. If you don't, I know you get a lot of love out there, but trust me, we appreciate it too. So,
All right, awesome. All right, that's Christine Phillips, TAV social media director. Again, follow her on all the social media platforms. And that'll do it for another episode of Game Time with the Goss, powered by Grey Roof Promotions. Hey, playoffs coming around the corner. Basketball is about to start. You know, if you need t-shirts, gear, check graywolfpromotions.com today. I'm Brian Gossett with GM Sports Media, and until next time, take care.